All right, and welcome as we start the insanity here. It is time for our Pelican clans. Our brave people of Clan Regval are here and ready to tame the land and secure their clan, which has only been through one winter. As they come out and now are moving in and around, trying to recover and get ready. Spring being the time of preparation, where the decisions here will cost the lives of raiders in the future, as well as be the thing that sets good foundations or large cracks that will only deepen as time goes on. It is into this that our brave team put together by Chief Raffenhofsker themselves to move in and about, already beginning to prove themselves and hopefully here become a force that can be for the good of the clan itself. Now, our characters have learned of a feud within the village. This proves to be problematic, as if resources are not given appropriately, if there is violence between clan members, it is unlikely they will even survive raiding season, let alone the dark winter. So it is with that in mind that we start, as our crew has elected to move and find Chief Ruffin of Scare themselves. Thusly, as you approach and talk to them about the problem, they look at you very seriously before letting out a large sigh. In a way, it's my fault, he admits. Grindel is both a very powerful trade mogul and a corrupt individual with many thralls in his service. I allowed Grindel to stay here because he accepted my stipulation that he cannot bring his thralls to Regval. It wasn't until the start of spring that I learned one of his former thralls was Benna herself. Fortunately, the man is integral to securing trade routes. I'm afraid that chasing him out of the village would do more harm than good for us, but at the same time, I feel sympathy for Benna. She has to live in the same village as a man who inflicted so much pain upon her. What'd you like to do?
Well, that's news to me about Benna. I mean, wow, what a surprise. I didn't know that. And I'll be honest, I mean, the family, they're not really easy to reason with. When they get an idea in their head, things kind of go their way. I don't think that the solution is going to be making them, I don't know, come to see eye to eye. That feels really unlikely, knowing the Grindel family.
Well, we may not get them to see eye to eye, but we may be able to get them to compromise, because if they don't come to some sort of compromise, they're going to be a detriment to the clan as a whole. And I don't think that either one of them want that to happen.
Is Benna's only. Is it old stuff that comes up for her? I mean, maybe actually we should go back and talk to her. Or has the family done anything recently that makes them hard to be around?
I don't know the specifics.
Yeah.
I just know what I told you.
Yeah.
Well, I think Asphalt's right. We should go talk to Benna first to get her side of the story. Because remember, there's her side, there's his side, and the truth is somewhere in between.
Well, I leave it to you. As the chief moves and begins to do his other duties, checking on other projects.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Tiny Tusk,
Hello.
I know that you have history being a thrall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this bringing up anything for you?
Bringing up anything for me? What do
Well,
you mean?
it seems like a high-stress emotional situation for other people involved, and I just want to
Oh.
make sure you're okay.
With taking care of people?
Okay, I guess we'll come back to it if anything comes up.
Well, who's stressed? Are you stressed, Bjork? Do you need a like I can get a washcloth and put some cold water on it?
No, I'm good. Are you okay helping us on our quest here?
Of
Talking
course.
to Benna and okay. We're gonna go talk to Benna. Does that sound good to you?
It sounds great to me.
Okay. Then off we go.
Okay.
Okay. You see Benna quite smiling as she's ordering her sons around and talking to two of her husbands. She come to her farmstead. Things are going really well, planting and tilling and all the stuff. She looks at you. You back? Everything's squared away at the kobold.
Yes. Everything's squared away.
Good.
I hope things have been improving since we last spoke.
Oh, nothing's gone missing, that's for sure.
Well, that's good.
It's been better. How can I help you?
Oh, we had some questions actually of the personal type.
Really?
Mm-hmm. My friends were wanting to ask you about about being a thrall.
She kind of smile drops. It's unpleasant. That's why I'd as soon give that kobold its freedom rather than subject him to such a thing, but you all are running things, apparently.
I wouldn't necessarily say we're running things, but we are trying to do what we can to help the clan.
Yes.
And on behalf of the chief, he has given us tasks to do. And one of our tasks is to try to quell the feud that is going on
What
That's-
feud?
between you and what's his name, Asphalt?
The Grinvalson family.
Grendel. That man kept me as a thrall for years. Had to fight in an underground ring to buy my freedom. And just when I thought I saw the last of that asshole, he shows his face here. She spits on the ground.
That's
I
horrible.
understand why the chief let him stay. But it was up to me. I'd chase him out of here, let him do his own in the woods.
Yeah. We get that.
What clan were you from?
Grindo's a merchant. Doesn't really do the clan thing.
Oh,
There's various places. That's why no tradition earned us our freedom like in the other ones.
yeah.
It was forever with him, unless you could pay him. She very just nonchalantly takes off her shirt and just shows her very bare chest, and you can see scars, deep cuts that still cave in her skin. Some traveling from up her neck, one in particular traveling from up her neck and down past where her pants begin. Goes this one. That was day one in the ring. Almost died. My fee was tripled due to the medical care. Window dead. Learned though. As she traces many of them, she goes, see how they all get a little more shallow? This. That's all, in my opinion, anyone needs to know about him. It's what it looks like to get out from under him. She puts her shirt back on and begins buttoning it up.
That's horrible. I've never even heard of such a thing.
Fighting rings, they're everywhere. None here that I know of, but give us a season or two.
You think they would bring them here?
Well, the fighting rings aren't the worst thing. Those are... anyone could participate. It was when you have to is the only way to get free that comes to me. The issue. I chose to risk death just to get my freedom from him. Didn't matter that he made almost way past whatever my fee was as he started to bet on me. He realized I'd do anything to win, so he kept on betting me to win. Must have paid him out 1,000 times.
Does the chief know about this?
Chief knows I was a thrall.
Does the chief know the details? I mean, I'm from a clan called Morgong. It's very different there.
The chief didn't allow anyone to bring thralls into the village. That was enough for me to join. I'm not overly happy that you all have made the decision to start the thing of thralling, but I'm not in your shoes, and I respect that. But no, I've not talked to the chief specifically about my past. Besides, what good is a husband with so much responsibility?
I don't think it's necessary for you to talk to the chief about this. It's enough that you have told us. What we need to try to do is figure out how the two of you can be here and not cause issues for the clan.
It was the Benisons that were fighting with Grindel's family.
Yeah,
That's who we're talking to, Benna.
Benna Stonebreaker.
Yeah,
isn't-
but
right.
it'd be her
But-
son.
But Benna is the mother of the Benisons.
Oh.
So it's like the Vikings and the Swedish thing,
Yeah.
where
I know, but the way it's written, I didn't put that together.
No, yeah, no, it takes a moment to. You have to. I have to do it too. Weekly, I have to get my brain in the way that the naming convention is, as opposed to it is a little. It takes a little bit.
it didn't faze me because my mom is a Johnson, and literally she's a Johnson through and through. Her grandparents were both Johnsons, just the name was spelled differently.
Oh, nice.
Has any of your family been? Maybe there's another way I should ask this. Does your family know about your history?
Yes.
Is it possible that some of your children, through no fault of their own, but pure, obvious anger, might have sought revenge in some way?
Maybe, and maybe they should.
I see. And I think that's perfectly a valid feeling. But it helps to know that in
Nice.
us trying to solve it.
Have you guys had a conversation since meeting again?
I have not let that man in my sight. I don't intend to. Y'all helped me out. I will I will hear suggestions out. I'm sorry. She just cries. Just tears start to well up for a moment as she puts them out. This just. I tried to keep this all very far from my mind. That's all. So, I'm sorry for my outburst.
That's okay. These feelings are just really difficult, and I get that. And I understand the nuance of like Kobold thing, and well, I just want to make it clear that that's not something that this clan is going to be. There are ways to do it, and it's Grindel's fault for doing it incorrectly. And we're not excusing him. What he did to you is deplorable, and it makes sense that you're upset. And you don't have to feel bad about it or apologize, or you also don't have to apologize for feeling weird about the Kobold stuff. It all makes sense. We get it.
As Asphalt said, we all understand. However, your sons need to understand that they are causing strife in the clan, and we can't have that. And we're trying to do this diplomatically so that potentially someone isn't necessarily, I don't want to say removed from the clan, but I suppose that's a possibility if things keep happening.
So what exactly do you suggest I do?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What would satisfy you in terms of the reality of our clan being such a weird mix of people and the past being what it is, if this person were to remain in the clan, what would be required to satisfy your ability to live here and not deal with him?
If we need to get together for the good of Clan Ragfall, an apology and reparations. Pay me for my service that I did, then I can consider us at least even. And then he can prove himself to have been a changed person or a rat from zero.
I think that is a very wise take. I'm sorry that we're having to even have this conversation. I have a past of being a thrall, but it was such night and day to your experience, and I didn't even realize that there were people who were dealing with what you were dealing with, and now I feel really bad about, the kobold, but please understand, it comes from a place of my own past, and in a way, as weird as it is to say, my past, because I was a thrall, it sort of kept me alive. And
I understand that.
I'll stop talking now. I don't.
That's fine. There are many stories in this world. There are, and I can understand that. As long as we honor each other's.
Yes.
And give respect to each. And as we learn more stories, we get a better picture of what's out there for real, right?
Yeah.
I
hope
know
we
your
can-
family is. Sorry, Tiny Test, go ahead.
I was just going to end by saying I hope we can be friends at the end of all this.
I have nothing against all of you.
I know your family is really supportive, Benna. Do you feel confident that they'd follow your lead?
I follow my lead or follow my fist.
I guess
But
both.
yes, yeah. Either way, they'll do as they're told.
All right.
Then I think we should leave her to her tasks and managing this large family that she has. Looks like quite a handful. What say you all?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
I'm nodding.
Okay.
And as a note, just because I realized that it could have sounded weird, these are meant to be adult sons and the very rough and rowdy orcs.
Oh yeah. That's
Just as
kind of what I figured. In fact, Tiny Tusk is kind of going to ask Bjork, "Hey, after all this is over, do you think Benna might set up a marriage between me and some of her sons?"
Whoa.
Am I thinking too far ahead?
That was Bjork, right?
Yeah.
I suppose that anything is possible, but would you want more than one of her sons? Would you maybe not want someone from other families as well?
No, that's a good point.
Should we go see Asphalt's employer?
Oh, do we have to?
Asphalt, did your employer ever make you do anything like that?
So it's not their employer's father, just to be.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Not like that. I mean, the family's tough, though. It's a lot of, you know, do this and don't talk back and do this extra thing and ow, oh, you did it wrong and do it again. And I mean, but you know, oftentimes I do it wrong, so I guess that's on me.
So the difference here, Tiny, is that she is an apprentice.
Mhm.
So they would not make her do something like that. They are supposed to be teaching her her craft.
So, when you say you're a apprentice, are you like royalty?
What? No. What?
No, what princess?
Oh, no. No, more like a student.
Oh, that's just as cool.
Well, yeah, I think it's cool. I'm not so good yet. Well, at least that's what they say. I mean, but, you know, there's always room to improve, and that's a good thing.
Do you have any experiences with this person we're going to go speak to?
God, I avoid him at all costs.
Oh. What's he like?
He's a bit like, you know, when you look at a stream and inside sometimes you can see a rock and it's like the stream has to bend around the rock because the rock isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's like that, but if the rock was scary, you know?
So what you're saying is he's a hard ass that's so hard. He's the hardest to ever hard ass.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fabulous.
Just, what's your take on all this? Hist, your mask is still on.
So it's
Sorry, I've been trying to fix my mic because I'm assuming you guys can't hear me very well.
We can hear you.
you can hear this.
It's quite a delicate situation. I mean, I understand her need for recompense, and what we've been doing is not right. And if we've been doing this for a while, there may be many others who have the same complaints and may not be as forgiving.
Yeah. Especially the part of it that really bothers me is that she was taken as a thrall, but not even by a clan. So there's like no rules there. There's no contracts.
Yeah, that's true. No way to hold people accountable for an agreement or a
Exactly.
consistency.
I was treated really nicely. Like I was treated like a member of the family.
As you should be.
But everyone's experience is different. I mean, depends on the person, you know. Good and bad people everywhere.
Yeah. Still, though, I'm kind of with Benna in that there needs to be some type of, you know, apology, and she should be paid for her work since she wasn't legally a thrall without a contract.
And none of us are disagreeing with that, so we're going to go see what we can do to correct the situation.
Yeah, even if it means we have to take out our weapons.
Well, we'll try to not have to resort to that.
Okay.
Because then that could potentially cause a bigger conflict that we don't need.
Which of you is good at talking to people?
I would think normally it's Orin, but he's unwell right at the moment, so it will have to be us.
Yeah, and Asphalt, you should confront your fears here and confront him
What?
head on and tell him exactly what you think.
Oh God, you sound like Cole right now.
I do.
Yeah.
I do think that Benna does have a point in the sense that she was kept as a thrall, but she paid her she paid her price at least multiple times over. She said it herself. She won Grindel her money over and over again, enough to be her buy price.
And to
But he
cover her
kept-
own medical expenses.
But he kept her a thrall because he wanted more money.
Yeah, I don't even like using the word thrall for what they did to her.
What I am concerned about is if we bring the chief, maybe well, there's nothing against what he did necessarily. Like, despite the fact that the two are very clearly related, they are still he still is just gambling on something. The fact that he forced her to do it is one thing, and that is quite the problem. But it'll be a hard. I don't know if the chief will, necessarily be on our side.
Well,
Just to be clear, it's just like the chief has given this over to you. Like you've spent 5 weeks and done nothing but help the thing. And
Never mind then.
this place hasn't had leaders, so he's been putting you all. He's been handing this over because he has to. He's too busy to deal with like other avenues. So everything you take on generally in this game is always like you've been given it.
Oh, cool. Then never mind. Ignore me.
All good. I just want to.
my personal take as far as thralls, in order for it to be actually considered to be that, well, my understanding comes from Morgong, and there, I mean, if you were really skilled at something, at most you'd have what's called a year contract, and you would, work for the clan, but you'd have your housing there, and they'd provide for you, and it was kind of a community. And if you weren't skilled, then they would put you on somewhere around no more than a 5-year contract, so they could teach you a skill, and by the end of it, you'd actually be better off than you were beforehand, depending on where you came from, and then you'd have the option to join. And I had planned to join myself because it was a really good family I was with, but then they unfortunately died. But I don't think of what happened to her the same way, and I don't know how it is in other clans, but I've heard horror stories, just none like that before.
Perhaps, maybe we should call it something new here. I mean, you could say that what happened to her might not sound like being a thrall to you, but the word clearly makes her upset. So it might be best to just let that word be, and maybe we can invent a new word for our arrangement with the kobold that looks a lot more like what your life was in Morgong.
Okay. How about princess?
Well, I think that word exists.
That word definitely exists.
We'll keep
I do think that perhaps we'll talk with Grindel And perhaps we keep in our back pocket the idea that we'll be taking him to the lawkeeper for Weregild on behalf of Benna.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
She's not dead, but wounding of another in such circumstances, I think, qualifies.
To be clear, she didn't say that Grendel is the one that wounded her.
No, that's understood, but he's the one that caused her to be wounded, I think, is what.
Or
But not her.
he put her into the situation where she was wounded.
Yeah, she went to. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that basically in the essence of like he treated her like in such a horrible way when she could have like paid off her thrall price essentially more than once, and he kept her as a thrall to earn more money. He owes her
Yeah.
in some aspect, and I think we could ask the lawkeeper to or the law speaker to, like, I don't know, pick a price essentially after we talk with Grindel and bring it to them, and then I think that because we all have to adhere to the laws that we have created for ourselves, and the lawkeeper is the one who speaks them.
Okay. Well, does anybody else have anything to say before we go meet the other side?
I think we were probably walking and talking, so. Because I don't think we would have said
Oh,
any
yeah.
of this in
Yeah,
front
that's
of
true.
Yeah.
Benna, so.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And we also, just to remind us, we can't forget that Benna also wants an apology.
Yes.
And I have a hunch that part might be the harder part to get.
That's why I brought my crossbow.
Again, let's hope that's not necessary, Tiny Tusk. Is it okay if I just call you Tiny for short?
Well, tiny does mean short, so.
Yes, you're correct, it does, but I just meant Tiny Tusk seems like a tongue twister sometimes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can change my name.
No, don't change your name. I just wondered if I could call you Tiny instead of Tiny Tusk.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So you make your way to the farmstead, where there is the meadery that is there. And given who you are, you are shown in, of course, Gondol. Sorry, not Gondol. My bad. Gunvar is there and sees you, asshole. Huh. Hey, Ash.
Yeah. He's talking to me. Don't worry about it. Hi. Sir. Hi. We come on official chief business, to talk to your, dad. Pardon me, sir.
Well, I guess it's best to give tasks to those who have no other value.
So
Go
true.
on in.
Right. Yeah. Okay, great. That went really good, guys. We're off to a good start.
Doesn't that mean he insulted all of us?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think being insulted was a good start.
What do
I
you mean?
think
He
we
said
know
it was
Go
smart
ahead.
for us to get the job. It makes sense. I agree.
No. What he said is not right, and we are more than worthy of the job we have been given.
Worthy because we're not really good at anything else. You guys are saying the same thing.
No, we're good at a lot of things. We're good at helping this clan. And
Yeah,
we're
that's true.
following what the chief has asked us to do.
Yeah, that's true too. Oh, this is so confusing all the time.
So remember, Asphalt, you are worthy, and don't let him tell you otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah,
That goes for you too, Tiny. You are
Oh.
worthy. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
in Asphalt, if it helps, Cole did mention you once.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Right after he came back from having met everybody, he told me that I believe it was, quote, that Asphalt, she's gonna be the chief one day.
Whoa, you can't say stuff like that.
I'm just saying what he said.
Wow. Wow.
That means you're good at this.
Okay. I gotta process that a lot. Okay.
Just standing there at the door.
All right. As you go in, you can see sitting at a table, looking over some paperwork, doing some calculations. A pale bronze dragonborn looks up. Oh, people who are in need of a conversation and help. Oh. What's so important that you had to come into my house?
The chief has asked us to be the ones to mediate this feud between your family and the Benisons.
We'd like to hear your side.
My side. Fine. You want me to say and talk about? Fine. About what? Benna?
Yes. I mean, the two of you are going to be in the clan together, and we need to know if that's going to cause any issues for you, or if there's anything in your history that you would like to share with us.
Mouth curves into a deep frown. That I see. I graced this village with my presence, only to be met with hostility. From a formal thrall, no less. It's just utterly disrespectful.
I actually believe we're being as respectful about this as we can be. We did not come with nor weapons raised nor accusations.
I did nothing against law.
You have a copy of your thrall contract.
Ah, indeed. Moves. Svar is right here, and it'll say what he's saying here.
Mhm.
Goes until an amount of 10 gold is paid to Grindel, to them, and once their amount was paid, they have their freedom. Goes right there. She worked. She did some extra work on the side for herself and paid it off early.
How early?
So only took her, I believe, a year or less.
Interesting. According to her, you had her working in a pit fight of sorts. Is that correct?
No,
No?
no, she chose that.
The thrall chose to put their body on the line and their
Yes.
life on the line while
In
under
order
your...
to make money quicker.
And you allowed it.
It's her choice.
It was her choice.
It was. I had of time that it would take to earn the money. She wanted to do quicker. She said that she was going to work in the fighting pits. And I said, that's fine with me. As long as her work didn't suffer. The first time it suffered greatly. And I had to add, and he actually shows you where it was there, to her contract, due to the amount that she cost me.
What did she cost you? What does it say?
Essentially, it was 50 gold.
50 gold. Does it say what the 50 gold was for?
Essentially, healing and medical treatment. And ultimately, healing potion. Saved her life. She owed that. It was her decision.
Did you keep a receipt for the healing potion?
I have it right here. All these documents seem to be. He's a businessman. He's a merchant. He's got everything.
And this potion bottle, I want to sniff it.
Well, he doesn't have the bottle.
Oh, he has the receipt. I'm
His
sorry.
receipt,
I
yes.
apologize.
Yes.
On the receipt, does the date that this is made out for match within the year of the contract?
Yeah, from looking at it, nothing looks like it's been doctored.
And how long after the contract was made would the healing potion have been purchased?
I can say it all matches up. Is the
Okay,
best I
fair
can.
enough.
I mean, as opposed to getting to.
Okay. All right. So he has paperwork. And does it, out of curiosity, the place that he bought it from, because he was a merchant, did he take this from his own stash or did he purchase this from another merchant?
This appears that he bought it special.
Does it say the name of the person?
I mean, it does, but they won't be in Regval.
Understood.
This was outside of Regval before Regval was even founded.
All right. So, just so I understand your story correctly, you began a contract for, you said, a year?
Not a year, a amount of money.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. The amount of gold with 10 gold. Okay. 10 gold. And she began working. How much was she earning from working?
It kind of looks at silver a day.
So for a day. Okay, so that would have been what, 50? Oh, I'm sorry, 100 days. Correct? Is that how that works?
Yeah, 100 days. And then, of course, she got in the paperwork, it's 50, which is added 500 days
Mm-hmm.
once she got injured.
Does it say how long in the contract before? In other words, how many days had she worked before she allegedly began volunteering at the pit fight?
Going through this, you would assume it was probably somewhere between 10 and 20.
What type of work did she do?
Oh, well, it was the labor, much of what she does now, honestly. It's was farming and moving things. The planting crates.
How many thralls did you have?
I have many.
Are any of them in the clan?
No,
Former ones? Okay.
and no Brenna is here. No clans in Ragfall. I have them within the other lands, but no thralls here. As my agreement with the chief.
Why was it that you came to that agreement? I've always been kind of curious. It seemed like such a departure from your old way of life.
His insistence. He wanted none of that practice here originally.
What about Ragval was so attractive that you agreed to that?
My children. They both wanted a life here. And I didn't want them to have to suffer or to do it without the advantages of everything I worked for. The point is you earn things to help your children. And I paid the price of leaving much of what I accrued behind in order to help them here and get them started. The meadery and the farmstead, we brought the materials so that they can have a good life here.
That was really noble of you. And I'm gonna shoot it straight with ya. I think you might have to make a similar decision now. All of the fights that are breaking out across Ragval, I mean, your kids are getting hurt. But we do have some things that if you agree to it, maybe we could keep your kids safe. And we can help maintain peace on the streets.
What do you propose?
Can I ask a question before we make these proposals? What is the life of a thrall worth?
I don't put a value on life itself. Things are contracts. Thralls are those who have been captured in battle. The system is so we don't have to kill them. Their life doesn't have a price. If it had a price, there'd be no point to the whole system.
But your contracts are all about prices.
Yes, it's what they owe. It's not their life, it's the work we put into them. To train them, to teach them how to be clan members, to be security for the rest of the clan. We take responsibility. Take Benna, for instance. If she would have murdered someone, that would have been on me. If she turned out to try to betray be on a raid and sabotage it. I was responsible for her. That responsibility, me taking that up in order so that she, instead of being executed, she was inundated into the clans, is worth a price. That service is the price, not their life.
See, but that's why I'm having such a hard time understanding what you said. Because you told us not but a few minutes ago that you let her make the choice to enter the fighting arenas. You were well aware of them. You
Yes.
allowed her to do it,
Yes.
knowing that she might kill someone, and that would be on you.
With the fighting arenas, if she killed someone, she kills someone. It's no, they're not illegal. They're not underground or anything. They're quite public. You
That didn't mean they
willingly
were.
enter.
Exactly, but people could
don't know.
die.
Right. I'm talking about killing someone against the law. I'm talking about law breaking, not that someone would die.
And
She knew the risk. She said she'd rather earn her freedom quicker. And she knew, in fact, it kind of produces a thing. She, in fact, has signed it, indicating that I would care for her, and any care I would do because of her doing the fighting bits must be added onto her own contract.
you have her signature?
Yeah, it shows right there.
I wanna
Are all
look
the
at-
signatures the same?
You check; they all seem to be in order.
This is curious. For a different reason, though. I'll come back to it. So, I still am trying to understand your point of view. I really am. Because she was your investment. You allowed her to go to a situation that could have ended in her death or injuries that you would have to pay for, and then willingly would put that onto her contract, knowing that I think I'm ready to discuss terms. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not finding your story very credible.
So, then what is this proposal?
Number one, an apology. A formal apology. In writing. To her. For the hardships that she had to endure, the psychological and physical. Number two, that you pay her the fair wage that would be required of a entrant into the fighting pits for every win, for every match that she endured.
Pardon my intrusion, but really, I mean, for the safety of your family, I do think it's not that big of a price to pay. You're a businessman. You know what it's like to have to work around the egos of business. Nobody sees, how hard you have to work behind the scenes.
Anything else?
Hey, you don't seem bothered at all.
About what am I supposed to be bothered?
She, forgive my language, sir, but she went through hell. She was your thrall. You were supposed to take care of her. Thralls, when I was one, I would never have been signing contracts additionally or signing documents of any kind. I don't know what type of skill you were trying to teach her, but I think she is doing well not because of what you taught her, but in spite of it. You give the whole process of thralling a bad name. I come from Morgong, sir. You would never have been allowed to walk in there. And I will not question the chief's decision to bring you here, but I'm going to be very level with you. If it were up to me, you'd have to fend for yourself out in the wild and deal with people just like you. And I'm sorry that you don't feel bothered by it, but it just breaks my heart. There's a person who's in pain, and you're showing us all the good receipts, all your paperwork. It's all in order. Congratulations.
Yes. Pain is better than dead. Well, not. Anyway. Go ahead and give me a persuasion with disadvantage. Someone?
Who's good
Not
Maybe.
me.
I'm okay. I got like a +4 in there. I did some talking.
How are you doing, Asphalt?
-2, baby.
Go for it, Tiny.
Oh boy. All right. Disadvantage. Here we go. I like that. All right. A 9.
Woo!
No. I will not pay out what has been done legally. I will not give her wages for something that I had to pay for and had great expense in doing and tried to talk her out of. So, excuse me. You can leave and I'll be on with my day.
Griff, did the chief tell us that we needed to handle this in any way we saw fit?
So violence.
No,
you'd be
not
breaking the
violent.
law.
She
I
is
just wanna-
not.
I
she
just
is
want to
not
be. I
gonna
just
let
want
me
to
do
be.
that.
I just want to be clear that,
Yeah.
that any violence or seizure of property or anything like that is against the law.
Okay.
So you were, and to be clear, your what to do was to bring reconciliation.
Okay.
Your job here is to get what he's basically said is he needs these two parties. So what the chief wants you to do is get these two parties to be okay and end the feuds. So in his view, the loss of either party would not be good.
Cool.
I think as like we're walking away and stuff, Griff would then answer. He'd be like, "The chief did give us leave to handle this in our way. We spoke to both sides, and I agree. The way Grindel has handled things seems a little too clinical. He had all this paperwork, everything for down to the very last coin.
Well, we can't fight him.
But we all of us under the clan have to adhere to the laws. I think going to the law speaker might be the next best step.
Who's the lost speaker?
If you don't remember, that is Asa Logmuta.
Should we not
Oh, okay.
should we not check with Benna and make sure she really did sign all of those?
Because yeah,
I feel like she probably did, and maybe under duress. But
Well, that's what I'm wondering too. But even if she was under duress, there should be some sort of difference in her signature.
good point. That's the other thing. What if her signature? What if she can't even sign her name?
what if she didn't know what she was signing?
Yeah, maybe
There's
she
that.
doesn't read the language. It was in common.
Why don't we ask her to sign something and see?
Good
We
idea.
can do all that, but I mean, my experience with the family is that they really know how to dot their T's and cross their I's, if you know what I mean. It's not that the choice wasn't there, it's that it was kind of an illusion. And I don't think they're ever going to admit that that's true.
I think you might be onto something, Asphalt. Now, the question is, I like the fact that you asked the question you did, Asphalt. You asked what was so appealing about our clan. There's got to be a reason, right, that he's here. What if we not seize property, not be violent, but make it a little bit more difficult for him here to do his normal type of business until he complies with the law? I mean, I assume we're making the law. I don't know. Maybe we need to go talk to the law speaker. Like you said.
Let's do that so that because it sounds like you need that piece
Yes.
to make some decisions. Well, I'll do this. Talking to Bannock, some of you wanted to double check that.
Mm-hmm.
She. Yes, I agreed to this initial contract. I agreed to the initial contract because they didn't want to die. If you want to call that willing, fine. Think of it as that.
Why were they going to kill you, though?
I was captured in a raid. When you capture someone in a raid, they are your resource. And you will be resourceful, or you will be dead.
Okay, so I'm sorry, above table, I'm a little confused. Didn't the chief tell us that Goodenvar didn't actually belong to another clan?
Yeah.
Well, like he lived in clan lands, but yeah, not as such. But she saying she came about through that process.
So is it
Right.
believed that he purchased her from a clan?
Through the thrall process.
Okay.
And as she goes, she will be the clans of Kandar,
Okay.
which are known as like the worst thrall clans.
Right.
So going by the Kandar, you kind of know he could have done actually a lot worse than not been outside the law of Kandar.
Do you mean the opposite? Thrall?
Thrall, yeah, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The clan of Thrall.
Why do we think this guy is so important to the chief?
Well, I mean, he's like,
He brings in money.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
all of the economy comes through him.
All of it?
Vast majority. The only competitor is Benna.
Interesting.
And she's not really a competitor because she's doing farming.
Yeah.
But what if she did more than farming?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know who does the contracts for the clan, but or even who these outside sources are. But I'm just confused because This guy, he just, if this is the type of business he engages in, I don't know if it's in our best interest as a land to have him doing that much economy. Who knows where he's getting this stuff from?
You mean the ingredients that he needs to make his mead?
Is that what he does?
Yes.
Is that it?
As far as I know, he owns
There's
the
several
meadery.
businesses. He has several businesses and brings in a bunch of different trades.
Okay.
Makes the trade routes. There's, you could say it is known that like the winter wouldn't have been very survivable without his interference and what he brought with him.
I do think that the chief kind of controlled for a lot of the corruption that he could do. It's not really legal anymore to do the thrall thing here, and I think that that's really good. He might be able to be like a normal, functioning, productive member of society if we just control him.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Well, that's kind of where I fall apart. I don't know how to reason with somebody who thinks they're right. I mean, he's got an answer to everything, and he really believes strongly that the way he thinks makes the most sense, and in his mind it does.
What about his kids?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to... Well, maybe I don't know your question.
Oh,
They're not
there's-
nice.
Oh, they're not any better.
Well, I don't know. The daughter might be okay. I mean, she didn't have to come pay respects to Cole, but she did.
That's true. Cole was close with one of them.
I mean, she at least came to pay respects. He didn't.
Maybe there is something there then. It's worth a shot anyway. Got nothing to lose.
And he does care about them. I mean, he's messed up in the head about a lot of things, but he has some sort of something like love for his kids if he gave up so much to make sure they were happy. Maybe there's a better nature to be appealed to after all. I just don't know how.
Well, but here's the question, is how much did he really give up?
What if we were able to prove that he lied to us in an official investigation? Would that be enough for his daughter to come into charge?
I don't necessarily think we need him to be gone. We just need him to make some sort of recompense for what has happened. And maybe if that happens, it will take him down a notch and he won't be quite as arrogant as he is. So I think Griff is correct. We should go speak to the lawbringers.
Okay.
Okay. You can find the Laneshi woman known as Asa by the runic stone of the laws of the clan. Green skin. Looks like she's just gotten out of the water a little bit. She looks at you. If it isn't those of the defenders of Ophir who come to the Log Mother. How can I be of service to you?
Bjork, go ahead. You're really good at talking.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think we are in need of your guidance in regards to a situation in the clan.
I will represent. I am willing to represent what is the law that is agreed upon.
Well, currently there's a feud going on between the Bennisons and the Goodnessons, or whatever his name is. And we're trying to come to some sort of mutual compromise for the betterment of the clan. Because we need both parties as part of the clan.
Tell me what. And where does the law have to do with this?
Well, despite the fact that much of their interaction happened outside of the clan, it is currently affecting inside of the clan. And when we took, I do believe that a lot of it spurned from the fact that we took in Sarav, the kobold, as a thrall because of Benna's previous status. As such, I think perhaps if we lay down a law for the clan about how to treat thralls, then the previous treatment of Benna, Bargrindal, can never be done again.
To add to the logs, then. That is rare.
Is that the name of like our law system?
The literally stone that she's standing in front of that has laws written upon them.
That's what that is? Okay.
To make a new law. Now, who would make such a thing?
Oh, we'd have to have this. We'd have to have the clan leaders, right? We.
You think leaders make laws?
Well, I don't know. I'm new to the government.
Then I will tell you. The laws are from the 7 heroes.
Oh.
To make a new law would be the act of a tyrant.
Oh. Well, we don't want to do that.
She is behind. My hands carved these words into the stone. My fingers bled upon it. For we were no clan until we had our sacred laws.
The 7 heroes, are their stories written down? Or is it all oral tradition?
It is passed down. And these are the laws that bind every clan of Elika.
I see.
So then basically what you're saying is that these laws, even though they're supposed to be the laws of all the clans, it's up to their interpretation of what they say.
In a sense, me as Logmutter, I hand down the verdict based on these, and she goes treachery, lesser violence, malicious violence, vengeance, wereguild.
What does it say about, or what's the interpretation of vengeance?
Vengeance. If there is the wounding or death of oneself or relative, one may ask a wereguild in recompense.
What is a wereguild?
The price of a man.
Oh. Who do they ask this of?
They ask this of the one that has done this, and should the perpetrator not pay the wereguild, one might take vengeance in violence or even killing. However, should, upon investigation, the vengeance not fit this, in other words, you kill someone when they have not killed, you injure when they have not injured, you shed blood or no blood was shed by the perpetrator, you are the only company you will have is that of the seasons.
Is there anything stipulated in the law about, like, coercion? If it's not the perpetrator's hand directly, but indirectly? Are there rulings about that?
This is all quite straightforward. Either someone raises a knife or they don't.
And you're the one who would do the investigation?
Tell me, what's the difference between violence and lesser violence?
Inflicting a wound that will heal is lesser violence. The price of such is 50 silver for each season of labor missed by a thrall, 100 pieces for each season of planting missed by a farmer, and 200 pieces for each season of raiding missed by a warrior.
What is this? I don't know how to ask this without sounding like a lawyer. What is the statute of limitations? Like, is kind of what she's asking.
How long? So yeah, that isn't as much as so that in the conversation that's up to Asa herself.
Okay.
But essentially, I'm thinking that we could use
in
this.
a generally non-litigious society, it
Mhm.
is mostly the judgment of the lawkeeper, right?
Yeah.
Those are the base ones. Then anything else really is her own personal thing. And of course, it being the society it is, certain steps she would take, people might want to do violence against her if she pissed off enough people of the clan.
Okay.
type of thing. So she's also beholden to some respect. That's why this particular situation is it one reason she wouldn't be involved in is just that there's two major factions,
Mm-hmm.
and she just wouldn't because it's either way someone might come burn her house.
Okay.
And there's no clear breaking of the laws of Valika.
So, in other words, there's not like a firm moral grounds to make decision, so to speak.
With what you're with what you're thinking of bringing to her, not so much. It's not like, because again, you're also talking about something that was, as far as she's concerned, she has no say. It was not done in Regval.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
She's Regval. This was another clan entirely.
Okay. I think that answered my questions.
I also have had my questions answered.
Yeah.
What would y'all like to do?
Okay, let's have a meeting of the minds here real quick. There's no chance at all this guy is going to pay money or apologize or anything of the sort. And on the flip side, there's no way that Rena would accept anything less than those things. So
I
We're kind of-
disagree
Oh,
about him.
okay.
I think that, I was thinking about, what you guys were saying about worth and stuff. And, worth can't come from the other person. It's gotta, come from internal. And I guess what I mean by all this is that I don't know if I'm so hung up on the Grindelsons meaning any of it. I think that Benna knows she was wronged, and I think that she was. And I think that if we could get Grindel to say sorry and give money, whether he means it or not, I think that that would improve Benna's life.
I
So
think you're right.
I don't know
And-
that, we're going to get through to him, but I think we could figure out other ways to make him pay and make him, say
You're
sorry.
right. What if we did this? Now, this guy cares about his reputation. What if Brenna did what she did for us? She speaks to the clan, but not in an accusatory way, in a forgiving way. In other words, naming him, sure, but stating that despite the fact that she was wronged, he cares more about the clan and will offer her forgiveness. It puts him in a disadvantaged position because all of a sudden she has the leg up. The people will look at her. He, on the other hand, then has the opportunity to make it right, or to just be seen in a negative way by several members of the clan. I think it might inspire him to pay and to apologize.
As long as we can make sure Benna doesn't end up looking weak in the eyes of the clan.
I've never seen her weak, especially today. When she was showing us her scars, that just showed me how strong she actually is.
Yeah, I felt the same way, but I worry people like Grindel don't see it that way.
Yeah. It's just one idea.
I know it's not as much compensation, but we could also just try to set things in place so things like this from here on don't happen and can be dealt with more accordingly. We might not be able to right the wrongs of the past, but we might be able to correct them in the future.
I think that's also important. Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the chief's plan with not having thralls. So we may need to look at what we've done with our cobalt friend and Maybe he needs to be somebody's apprentice rather than somebody's thrall.
Okay.
But we still have to worry about Benna and her situation. And I don't know how easy it would be to convince her to talk about this in front of the clan.
I don't know either. But we could talk to her.
Or if she would even be willing.
Yeah. Good point.
And I do think too, I mean, we briefly talked about it before, and then we just went and talked to Ada for a second, but I mean, he kind of implied that his soft spot is his kids. They could probably do a big heap of the work if we get them to talk to him.
Well, but if she's going to talk, it should be in front of him and his kids, so his kids can see potentially
Right.
think he's done in the past and maybe make different choices and press on him to make different choices.
And you
Exactly.
know, there's no actual requirement that she even has to do this thing. What if it's just the rumor that it might be happening that gets to his ear? He's a smart guy.
Especially if the fighting stops, at least on Benna's side.
Well, we got some options. We could talk to his kids. I like that plan because we haven't tried it yet. And that would be the easiest way to resolve it. If that doesn't work, we could talk to Brenna. And if that doesn't work, we could maybe, possibly just create the rumor. Not the rumor. No, that's a bad word for it. I don't want to do that. Never mind. I like the other two ideas.
Yeah, we don't want to start any more dissension among the clan. We're trying to prevent it.
I know. I'm sorry, Bjorg.
Tiny, it's always good to throw every option out there, regardless of how good or bad it is, because then that gives us something to work from, to know where we're going to go.
Above table, it's a really bad idea to tell me that.
No, not really. Because, again, any option you throw out there could be a viable option. May not be the one we go with, but any option is better than no option. And even if it's a bad one, it gives us something to work from.
Yeah, I
That
agree with
plan is
that.
better.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't even know what I think until someone says something, and then I'm like, well, I don't think that. And that's helpful to know.
So, are we good with talking to the kids, maybe? Is that cool, or do we not want to do that?
No, I think that's a good idea, but that's my opinion.
Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds
And
like
I
a
say
good
we
idea
start with
for
the
me.
daughter.
Yeah, the daughter, definitely.
Well, yeah, she's most approachable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the daughter. We will go to our break. Alrighty. Go back here. Looking good.
Sorry, back.
All right. All right. Your way to the meadery. So, you come with to the gorgeous, small and demure female bronze dragonborn, the eldest daughter of Grinder of Houseford, Gondul Grinderstolte. You come, you can see the fine polish of her scales that shine. And as she is busying herself within the meadery, she is fine clothes. Given your presence, almost you wonder, it seems like her dress herself might have cost what Benna's freedom was. As she sees everything, looks at all of you and nods. Welcome. Have you I didn't get to speak to you directly, looking at Tiny Tusk. I am sorry for the death.
Well, thank you. He was like an uncle to me.
Good. So you come to my meeting in the middle of the day. How may I help you?
Well, we've been tasked by the chief to try and settle an issue going on in the clan. You must have heard of it, an issue between Brenna and your father.
I heard the Bennisons have been making trouble, yes.
Can I ask you some questions, or can we ask you some questions?
I can tell you what you like.
Do you remember when Brenna was a thrall?
Vaguely. Not,
What do
I
you-
mean, I was a young when she was.
What? Someone's super loud right now.
What's super loud? The music?
No, I'm sorry. My ears.
It is a little clinky. It might be
Okay.
Molly.
I've been.
I didn't think like phone is literally against my computer, like, and I'm sitting at least a good 2 feet away.
It is loud.
So I didn't think it was picking it up.
Fair enough.
You're
Fair
good.
enough.
Do you remember when Brenna was a Oh, I just asked that. I'm sorry. What do you remember?
I remember coming. I held cloth against her wound until Father returned with a potion. She was brought home. I remember the worry in Father's face.
Your father was worried?
About her, and frankly, I remember her disgust when she was healed and the price was told to her of what it cost to save her life.
Would it surprise you to know that maybe Benna remembers different things about her experience with your family?
I hardly remember anything. So I don't. If she. I mean, I don't know what you mean different, but that she has memories I don't, I would assume so.
So, did she ever tell you how she got that wound?
I just. From her, no. I just remember Father talking about the fighting pits. I remember him being worried that she was in them.
Did it seem like a worry for her well-being, or did it seem like a worry for his investment?
I remember him, it seemed like he was worried about her.
Well, I guess we're here because, some new evidence is coming to light about the conditions that your dad kept. And we just were wondering your perspective on that. There are some thoughts that maybe it was a harsh environment, and that maybe choices that seemed easy and black and white to him maybe weren't as free, I guess.
I don't.
To
I
other
mean,
people.
I remember the thralls of our house being treated better than any I had seen. That being said, one reason I wanted to be here was to maybe be away. One reason was to be away from the practice. Specifically, Regval was one of the more... Raffin himself, one of the reasons he split was his disdain for the Thrall system, though its use on raids and such things is still interesting, but that it be used at least only in dire need. I mean, were they not in our house? It's very likely they would have just been thrown onto the front line of a battle, used as fodder.
And nobody's denying that. Yeah.
So I guess to us, at least to me, it was always a kindness we were doing. Paying for their contract, giving them a chance to work it off, and keeping them from arrows and spears. sweeping instead of killing.
Exactly.
She chose to fight with sword in the pits instead of the broom, which is fine. She also paid the price for it.
Do you think that you might, with the threat of death, end up making risky choices? End up doing things that maybe don't even feel like a choice? Because the alternative is your life.
If you got the contract to come with us, of course. I can see it's hardly a choice. But sure. But I mean, at the same point, as I remember running the books, it was by the repayment of we were able to receive payment from those we had bought to then buy others. And the more we bought, the more didn't die. Well, not killed.
You knew about the fighting pits?
As I told you, what I remember is holding the cloth against her gaping wound.
Above table, did she originally say that she didn't recall the circumstances of why she held the wound?
She remembers holding the wound. That's what she remembers.
And then later,
like as she's talking now, could be like she's saying she remembers that, and you can see maybe she's been told or.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure she hadn't changed her.
No, she hadn't changed her story.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, I think that's a great service and everything, but if what you're saying is that they were willing to go to the fighting pits just to free themselves, why not just let them go? Free.
I was not, nor am I my father.
I know, but
So,
what's your opinion?
It's not my. No. One thing I will not do is make a presumption of a choice from one whose shoes I have not walked, whose tunic I have not worn. Like you said, I do not presume that there's no way one could say that Brenna had a free choice. That's why I'm here. One reason I told you I'm here. At the same point, I don't know other choice. If my father wished to help them, what he could have done. So, being one to judge either, this makes zero sense to me from my position.
Did he care for her differently than he did the rest of the thralls?
Other than no, I mean he didn't seem to take any peculiar liking to her.
Have you had any contact with her since getting here?
Initially, until she understood that my father was that Grendel, then, well, her boys still like to look, but they don't come in.
Are you familiar with Clan Morgong?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Well, I only bring them up because, well, you know, there is an alternative to the way your dad ran his business. And I know he doesn't do that now. This is years ago, but people were conducting themselves differently even then. I mean, you could ask Tiny Tusk. Her experience
in different clans, not the clan not where we were staying at the time.
Yeah, correct. But your dad is no pushover. I mean, he acts in the way that he thinks is just and fair.
Indeed.
And in keeping with the law.
Indeed.
He is a smart man, and he made those choices that he made.
I agree. I do not argue. Sky looks at you a little confusedly. Not, yes?
I think what Asphalt is saying is, was your father aware that there was another way?
I don't know. Even
Well-
if there was a place that existed, it doesn't mean it was really open to him. In the same way that there is, there are places now where you could treat Thors worse than here. That doesn't mean that we are able to do so either by the laws here or by the morality we have.
So here's where we're at, I guess. We want the violence to not happen. We want people to be able to live in harmony, but in order to do that, we have to set standards for what this clan is. I mean, what we're going to be about. I think your father is in a really unique position right now to help that, to be the first to take such a stand. With what happened to Brenna, you said it yourself. When she found out who your father was, she probably seemed very different. She doesn't have nice, good memories of that time. And regardless of who was or who was not at fault, I don't even think it matters all these years now. But what would matter and go a long way is perception.
I see.
And I think your father is in a unique position to take a stand and say, I mean, the reality is this. In your father's position, I don't think anybody would have known the 100% greatest way to handle everything. And I think that no one would judge him for that. No one in the clan, certainly. And what I'm getting at is if he were to make a public, I hate to use the word apology, but it's hard to think of a better word for it, a means of atoning, seeking peace, rather, not atoning, seeking peace between himself and Brenna. I think that would go a long way with getting all of these thoughts of even remote violence from taking part. But it would require one person to act before the other. I mention your father because he seems to be the more well-educated and prestigious and smarter of the folk here, and it would definitely go a long way with securing himself, even more so than he already has. But it's hard to convince him of this, and I admit I fumbled when I spoke to him. Maybe it's just my own past of being a thrall, and I let my emotions get the better of me. But he can see beyond emotion, I think, and maybe if someone who cared about him and he respected were to approach him with such an idea, it could go a long way.
I don't think my father is one that would look kindly upon that.
What do you think your father would seek in order to find this peace? We've spoken to Brenna, but we're not really sure about what it is that he would want out of this.
My father. I mean, my father, if the Benison stopped antagonizing him and our family, he would hold no ill will.
Good.
Especially if it cost him nothing. But if you are talking about him costing him a thing to allow his name to be sullied, like you say, I would imagine it. The one thing I can say about my father is he does like the negotiation. If those two, Benna and him, could sit down at a table and negotiate, I imagine that would be where he would be the most open. But if he feels that he has had a fair chance, one to say, whatever the deal is, he keeps. If something is put upon him, or he feels trapped, or that he must do it because of another deal, he holds resentment. That can take all types of forms with him.
What if we could set up such a meeting that was on fair ground? Would you be able to speak to him about attending?
I can tell him I think it's a good idea. The convincing would probably be up to all of you.
Well, he's already asked us to leave.
Well, he does end up, he holds on to things. You won't be able to talk to him for at least a week. But after a week, he might be willing to hear again.
Okay.
I think at least in the intermittum, we can try to talk to Benna to maybe see if everybody can just not get into a brawl in the next week. Or we try to get this meeting set up.
We do need to talk to Brenna to see if she'd be open to it as well.
Where to next?
Tiny would mention one quick thing before we leave, and that's just that, just could you let your father know that, well, I mean, it's my fault the negotiations went like they did, not Brenna's. So if he harbors ill will toward me, that's cool. I don't have to be a part of it, but it's no reason to hurt Brenna. But that's just the last thing I'll say on it.
I'll see what I can talk to him about over a glass of mead.
Okay, that's fair.
Actually, would you mind trying this? I, of course, was going to talk to you. You being the closest one, I believe, and the rest of you actually as well. But I have this variety I was thinking of calling the coal.
Oh, is that an alcohol?
What's a mead? Yes, it's
alcohol. I bet he'd love it.
You're not wrong, I think.
I could try it.
If you add like a little accent at the end, it would sound kind of, exotic and foreign. You could even call it like a cola or something like that.
The cola.
Yeah, I feel like it would really catch on. People would be saying, "Oh man, I could use a cola right now. Oh man, you want a cola?" I feel like it's really got some marketability.
Just for the taste of it, really. I'll definitely try some. I used to taste some of his meads.
She pours a little glass for everybody. It's
Oh, fizzy.
a little bit of heat.
Ooh. Ooh.
Warm you right up in those cold times.
It's just caught trying to pour it out like subtly in a corner, but it's sloped inward, so like it's trickling
Close to
away.
the blood. I said, "You thirsty?" He'd say, "No, just cold."
Well, that'll certainly warm you up.
Oh yeah, I think he'd like this. I think he'd made a good choice.
Good. Good luck in your, what you are attempting to do.
Yep. Well, everyone, should we go speak to Brenna?
Is it Brenna or Benna?
I don't know. It's Benna. Okay, I keep saying it wrong. Okay.
I'm thinking, what would probably be the best way to approach this? Because I have a feeling that if we come right out and say that Grindel wants the meeting, Ben is just going to straight up say no.
Oh yeah, but we haven't actually spoken to him about the meeting.
Yeah.
Maybe we just say we think it would be a good idea. Because I think it might be a good idea to have them both sit down and talk face to face instead of talking through us and us getting two different tales and stories. Maybe they can meet in the center, because like Bjork said, that's where the truth is.
She seemed really opposed to it when we spoke to her last.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We have to try something else.
I think we should still ask. We should still try to convince her. Because again, it's for the betterment of the clan.
Yeah.
That's what everybody needs to remember. This is for the betterment of the clan. It's not about an individual. The clan revolves around us as a whole, not each of us as individuals. And I think maybe if the two of them did talk, that maybe they would even come to some sort of, I won't say alliance, but maybe understanding. And that could eventually maybe work for the betterment of the clan as a whole in the future. That maybe instead of him potentially trying to cheat her for buying her goods, or even not buying her goods at all for what he needs, they could come to some sort of agreement on that, which would again be for the betterment of the clan, taking care of each other versus me for me and you for you and them for them. So I think we need to remind them of that. This is not about them, it's about the clan and what's best for the clan.
I agree.
That could work, yeah.
Griff, what are your thoughts?
Let's go.
Hist, any opinions?
If she I mean, I was just thinking that if she begins to oppose, we can just appeal to her. She is a She does have a family. We can appeal to her want for a better world for her family, reaching the next step, despite the fact that she was so against it.
I do think that's actually a piece of common ground between them that maybe they don't see. They both really do want a good world for their kids.
And they're also the most likely to get hurt.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Benna. See what she has to say.
All right. So we can get to where you're with Benna. What do you want to say to her?
Well, we go ahead, Griff, if you want to take this.
I wasn't. I was coughing really
Oh.
loudly.
We spoke to them. I'm just going to try to think what Bjork would do here. Right now we all need to really think about the clan, and one of the ideas that we have as a clan is to find a way of handling these types of issues in the future. Might be to have both aggrieved parties, or rather, if there's one aggrieved party and a party accused, or if both are accused, or if both are accusers, or what have you, no matter what the circumstance of that situation, they can come together and sit down at a table to discuss terms and hear each other out, so that these issues can be resolved peacefully, because it's about the clan, and that's what would help the clan right now.
So you want me to share a table with Brindle?
We could push two different tables together. Then you wouldn't have to actually share the same table.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay, come on, persuasion. Do not fail me now. 18?
Ooh.
For the clan, for those who cared enough to take care of the kobolds, for my children, maybe your future husband, I will sit with him.
If it makes you feel any better, I really gave him a talking to.
You really must be trying to be part of the family.
Thank you for agreeing to the meeting. That shows that you're a good person. You're willing to put this clan first, and also because reality is this. I feel like if this gets violent, it's gonna hurt people that we all care about.
At least until we talk, I'll keep my sons in line.
Thank you.
Oh, don't take me yet. I didn't say where. I'm kidding. That's fine. All right. right.
We will let you know when and where. We figure it should be neutral territory.
She nods. That's fine. I'll do as you say. And you all can... So from here, you would want to talk to Grindel again, ultimately?
Yeah, just to see if Tiny can apologize to...
So in this case, they will not see you again for a week.
Fair
So that will be another week of time that will go by here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now, there is the downtime. You can do, again, you can be creative about downtime, like especially as a group. The group doing things together has a lot of power. If you wanted to do things that might, like if you had ideas of like what might help Grindel, or like to aid in negotiations further, you could try to put those into practice if you so desired. Or you could just do other things, but because you could also do some exploration or whatever was all on your minds.
Ooh,
Or you
yeah,
could focus on this. There's also training. You only did one part of the training, so you still have to do one of the other trainings for either to matter. So there's a lot of options.
Oh yeah.
So,
How do you all feel?
I think that just for the sake of like what's going on in the background, we should stay in in the clan area in case anything happens. So like not going away somewhere.
I think I put my vote towards the second portion of the training.
Same. I think we should just get it out of the way.
Tiny would love to go exploring, but she's not going to deny that staying close to the clan is probably the smarter idea.
Training?
I guess training it is.
So we have two options, right? We have either stealth or ranged.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm okay at ranged. I'm okay at, well, mostly okay at ranged, but I'm kind of okay at stealth.
I'm thinking that maybe we should teach them stealth, because it would come in very handy during a raid.
I agree.
And we've already taught them how to handle themselves in a fight.
So I have an above table question.
Mhm.
If we don't teach them in range, does that mean that nobody can use any ranged things like amongst our army, or that we're just not as good at it?
So it'd be not as good, right? So you're getting, it's in all these, like they have the basic, they all have basic training.
Okay.
These are specializations.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Well, I mean, I lean ranged, but I'm going to go with majority here.
Griff, Hist, what are
I agreed with stealth.
Okay.
I also think range, but again, I'm going to go with the majority, so I think we're going with stealth.
Okay.
So which is it?
I think we're going with stealth.
Okay.
3-2.
All right. Okay, in that case, as you put this into, let's say, how do you want it? How is it you're ultimately teaching them?
Well, I have some pretty cool features that allow me to go invisible, like things like Shroud of the Wild and creature cover.
As
Oh, go ahead.
as a heavier armor wearer, my stealth is at disadvantage. So, perhaps there's a lesson to be learned there.
What not to do.
I can like really hide in light foliage, including like rain and snow, mist. I can also hide pretty easily behind any creature that's larger than me. So I can be a part of the lesson.
Well, I can. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah. In my mind, I think Bjorg would probably be the one to like lead this thing, right? You're our sneaky person. But
Right.
in
I was going to say
supplement-
I can
Yeah.
teach them the dash, disengage, and hide actions as well as thieves' tools.
I think Asphalt would contribute sort of like a mindfulness lecture. I think she would point out, what we think of silence isn't actually silent. And if you listen to the nature around you, it's making noise all the time. And trying to fight that is not how you be sneaky. You have to get it to work for you. So when, the nature around you gives you an opportunity, you can make noise. You just, have to be one with your environment.
He'll still teach like prestidigitation, minor illusion, and just like showing how to use those to improve hiding in foliage or in snow or things like that.
Or causing a distraction so that they're looking one way when someone else is going somewhere to do something else.
Or that.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like all these different ways of doing this. So for the first one, who's going to be the one attempting the stealthy feat and who's going to demonstrate to the others how people might try to spot it?
I can do the stealth.
And I guess I'll do spotting. Was it Griff and Asphalt who did the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do the spotting.
So my stealth versus Tiny's perception.
Yeah.
Actually pretty good.
Well, we'll do the checks.
15.
Okay. My perception roll is a 16.
Oh, nice.
All right. So we have a failed stealth. Oh, got
But
her.
a successful spot.
Yes.
Right. So now they're learning what not to do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now we're going to show you what to do.
Do it again.
Roll better. Oh, nice. 22.
Right. Against my 14.
All right. Now a successful stealth.
I'm like Dora the Explorer. I don't see anything.
All right, there. Do it again.
Okay. My perception is a nat 20.
Oh, nice. I got a 19.
A 19 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 total.
Another failed stealth.
As you can see here, if you keep your hand in the rain and the way in which the rain patters, you can easily spot anyone trying to sneak up on you.
Nice.
Very good in that case. After this training, Runoff watches very closely. Oh wow, that's so good! Oh, I mean, Tiny, you are really good at looking. I'm not saying you're good looking.
I'm
No.
good looking.
No, good. I mean, that was good. Oh no.
Oh.
I'm
I'm
not about to say.
I try to look.
Okay. So Clock comes back. Goes, all right. It's good 2 weeks of training. Now it's time to see how well your instructors really have done. We've heard of some foxes at the outskirts of the village. See how you do against them. And me and your instructors will be there to see you get some meat, some furs, or get your throats ripped out. Let's go.
Oh dear.
Would remind them that in the forest, animals have a great sense of smell, so they need to make sure they are downwind. So they need to be checking those things when they are out there.
Okay.
And if you see the leaves move and you don't feel the wind, you'll know where they are.
Very good. So. There we go. All right. Now, you can see that as they make it out, the warriors see these tiny, white-haired, blue-eyed foxes hunting, looking for prey. And as you look, many each go to one, waiting until they are alone. However, Anal has been the star pupil. They have been paying much attention. And they go towards a pack of 3. Feeling very confident from all of you. As they approach. Now, of course, you cannot interfere with your student, but you can shout out advice to said student. As they slowly, keeping downwind of them, just attempt to get close. Ooh. And they're able to get right next to them with their spear. They have no idea that they are there. As they take their first strike. Ooh. I'm going to do really good on this particular one. Yeah. So their first strike and skewers one out of nowhere.
Ooh.
The other 2 turn. Seeing this. And they each will attack. Let's see here. The first.
Can I holler out?
Sure.
Do not let them flank you.
All right. Give. Let's see here. I would say, yeah, give me just an initiative to see if you can get it before the foxes react.
17.
17. They go to flank, and you quickly tell them, he's like, right, and he just takes one little step, so they both have to hit separately. In their separate hits, they both make it through their defenses, unfortunately. Very expert. One getting a natural 20.
Oh boy.
Can I use nature to try and find a piece of advice for this, dealing with this particular animal?
She just wanted to like learn something about the.
Just to help the student a little bit, to shout something out to them. But I, as a player, don't know what their tactics are.
Sure, give me a nature check.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. We can tell ultimately is one thing that you've known about them is their bite freezes and blackens the skin.
Ooh.
All right. I am going to shout this so they keep their arms away from that mouth. Maybe use that. Maybe if they're using a spear, they could probably attack both at the same time.
They're not that trained with the spear.
No, master for you.
No. You did them that one. Right. So they ultimately here from the two foxes will take 3 piercing and 3 cold damage.
Ooh.
Which will make them bloodied.
Oof.
Because they have 11 HP, so they're down to 5.
No.
They go, ow, right, my skin.
Jeez.
And they turn and strike once more. With that, they will hit. Now, incidentally, just so you kind of see, they have plus to hits and plus to their AC. The plus in a hit is helping them. And due to the stealth training, it helped them get there. But they have it gave them +4 to his damage. Your stealth training. So they strike and they're able to kill a second one. Ha! And with that, the next one.
Bonus action dash. Bonus action disengage. Bonus action something.
He's like, I have no bonus action utility.
Well, that was mistake number 1.
I'm just a CR 1/8 stat block. This time, though, the little fox misses.
I'm going to encourage him. Push through the pain. You can do this.
Aim.
All right. Through the pain, they get advantage, and with the advantage, they will hit. And just as one leaps through the air trying to bite them again, he puts his spear right through their chest. Ha! And your star pupil, Renal, comes with 3 foxes where the others come with 1.
Nice.
The others also have no wounds, but he is bleeding profusely. Ah!
Okay, let's give Renal some help here. I'm gonna get him some good berries.
Oh, nice.
My final lesson is to remember that when we are victorious, it is only because our foe has fallen. And we also should give thanks to the foxes. They are part of this just as much as we are.
Indeed. And also, you skin these foxes, they will be the start of the banner you will wear into battle. Your first kills as warriors. And you will thank them, for through you they will have many more kills. Turns to
Yes.
no. Goes, and these you will take one, and these other two. Be sure to have them made for blankets for the young. That they will grow and feed at the teat while wrapped in your courage and skill.
And Renal, since this is your first kill, you must, by ancient tradition, say what your animal would say. What does the fox say?
I would also say that remember when going into battle together, you must have each other's backs. There will be a time when you might be fighting individually, depending on the situation, but you always have your brothers or sisters back.
No.
So do not try to be a hero on your own.
Yes, or you're going to be bleeding and have skin I think's going to fall off. So no.
Yeah, I'm giving you those good berries.
Yes.
All 6 of them.
Well, at least he won't be hungry for 24 hours.
As Locke speaks, as she says, "Now, when summer comes, our enemy shall underestimate our warriors at their own peril. Even if some of you still need shaping up." She goes to you, "Thank you. We'll be safer because of this. These greenhorns, they might just make it back alive." Yeah. You all need to make it back too when summer comes. She gives each of you a small bag that contains 50 silver each.
Oh.
Oh.
Nice.
I assume Orin will get one as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Need to tag him on this.
Money.
All right. So. In that case. Having done all of that, it is a quite the celebration throughout the week as you take care of your other duties and train and do that's why you do more of your business for everybody.
Well, we definitely need to get Cola to the tavern.
Tiny, you're starting to sound like Cole there.
Oh,
How are the wolves?
you're really well. I keep feeding them the jerky that Cole left for them.
Well, you know we're here to help.
Oh, good. Because they can be scary sometimes.
I'm sure it can be, because they are quite big.
Yeah, first time I went out there, they thought I was the jerky.
Did you take someone with you?
No.
Ah, well, start taking one of us with you. Whether that's Oren or myself. And I don't know, probably Asphalt might want to go too, since she was initial help to begin with.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind. I really like those wolves, actually. It was one of the first things I ever really liked about Cole, was how he handled those wolves.
Oh, yeah.
As you are talking, you see the tattooed and elf Mildreth come looking at you in the bar. She looks and finds you and comes directly over to you. And you can tell she approaches. She's a little bit out of breath, as if she's been running.
Mildred, are you okay?
I found you. Good. I've been looking all over for you. I know this is sudden, but if you have a moment, could you swing by my cabin? It's urgent. It's related to the beast you helped me slay. Thank you again for that, by the way. Oh, I guess the beasts we kept in. Anyway, it's related to that.
Sure. I think we have a moment now, don't we, guys? Gals?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Here, before you go, you look like you could use a cup of cola. It's the new and improved mead beverage.
Ooh, cola.
I'll get new cola.
Whew. This is really good. Oh man, the Grindo scents are fantastic.
Warms you right up, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, people can say what they want. They make some good mead.
And it also settles the nerves. Although I know you were worried about something, so let's go to your cabin.
Yes. So with that, she takes you quickly over to the cabin. It's best to come inside. Yes. So, things are in fact as we feared. The true beast is still out there. The other day it killed one of my hunters.
Oh. Sorry.
Where did this happen so that we can go take a look?
It was in the woods. I've asked Asa to magically examine the body. But it might be for the best if you take a look first.
Yes.
She walks over to her bed, reaches underneath her bed, and drags a body out. Here it is.
Well, that's one way to hide a body.
Were they alone?
Yes, they were hunting alone when it happened. The group had split up, a common practice. Within shouting distance, they heard her shout, but...
I would like to perform a medicine check on how this person died.
Yeah.
That's a natural 20 or 26.
Okay. Carefully looking at this. The wounds appear to be from fangs and claws. And you can see that tufts of white fur cling to the remains of the hunter's clothes. And as you look into the deepest wound, kind of, you're looking, you're reaching in, and you find a scale, almost like that of a drake, embedded in bronze.
That seems very contradictory. White fur, but drake scales?
One of the kobolds was white, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The one that you kept.
But he doesn't have fur.
No, I just wondered if this was a sign.
There's no harm in asking.
Griff. Griff.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
I know you don't really like to talk too much about it, but can you talk to dead people in general or just the one?
Just the one.
Yeah, okay, alright.
There's a knock at the door. And looking out a window real quick, Mildred nods and opens up, and you see Asa Loneshi and Mauro Brightsea, those who you met before, come in. Asa goes, "Seems you have started without me." It's fine. You six are in a lot of business. It's good you are trusted. Then Asa begins casting spells. Magic flows around the body, then various colors that she seems to understand. Then she frowns. She begins whispering to Mardal. And she procures a silver coin and places it on the body. And the two hold hands and whisper together as the coin begins to glow like moonlight. And when the light fades, Asa looks at you with a grave expression on her face. Wounds from a legend. Your legend of a man who turns into a wolf.
Okay, that would potentially explain the fur. But what about the scale?
I can only tell you what my magic says.
They could have had a different kind of transformation.
What if they're dragonborn with bronze scales and they turn into a white wolf?
Or they had fur initially and turned that way. But I agree.
You mean the opposite?
Yes.
They have white fur, and then they turned into a bronze dragon.
When I think I missed it. When was the hunter killed? Hurt? Harmed?
Last night. She thinks full moon.
Okay. So we could be dealing with a transformation of some sort.
Is there a way to look at the scale and determine if it's from specifically a dragonborn or a drake?
Look. She looks at it. I don't think so. Drakes and people are the same size. It's hard to tell, but a beast of bronze and white fall. Why wouldn't it be Grindel? Or his children, or maybe they're a pack. Who else has bronze scales?
Well, I mean, I don't want us to get too far ahead here. I mean, there could be someone living out this way who we haven't met or seen before.
Mondo speaks. I have heard eerie stories of the elves in the sheltering wood.
Those elves again.
They have every reason to try and scare Regvelian hunters. Killing, leaving evidence that unleashing something.
I think we need to go find these elves one way or the other because we've been hearing stories about them for a while.
And then there was the scout that left
Shot me in the head!
Shot.
Yep, they shot Asphalt in the head.
They shot you in the head?
They shot me in the head. And I do think it's worth noting, right, that Grindel is, a person of stature here. To leave such specific evidence, it seems like we can't rule out that it might have been intentional.
Yeah. I want more evidence before we go assuming it's them, especially in light of certain situations going on right now.
It would be a very good time to frame him.
That's not what we do, Hist. Oh, I see what you're saying. Someone else framed him.
Yes.
I'm on your side now, Hist.
I really hope that's not the case. I don't want anything to undermine what we're trying to do with Benna, because regardless of this situation, I think it's still good to try and broker peace between them.
Yep. Wait a minute, Asphalt. You work for the family. Have you seen anything strange before, like people turning into wolves?
No, I do think I would have brought that up if I knew that, yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking.
But I mean, well, can I think back about like business hours and such? Do we close up before sundown?
Everyone pretty much does.
Okay.
Except like And again, the meadery is one that provides alcohol to the bars. So it's, I mean, they keep regular business hours.
Okay.
And so you would have gone.
Have we ever seen them out at a tavern and stuff, drinking and hanging out? Or is it sort of like they just kind of vanish at night?
Give me a history check.
Okay. 10.
10. You've seen Grindelsons around. Different ones.
Even on a full
Nice.
moon.
On a
But-
10, I think I don't know.
Right, yeah, the 10, I don't think it's that. Although you've seen them at night.
Well, okay. Well, what do y'all think? Because I'm thinking we got to go find these elves, right? At least find out what's going on with them.
Well, yeah, but also maybe we could be more proactive about. I mean, now we know elements of the creature. We haven't looked for them this whole time, and now someone else is dead.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be out in the woods looking for white fur and scales or something.
Well, and our cobalt friend did say that he heard scary noises out in the forest. So I think we should go see where the body was found and take our cues from there.
Oh, guys, I'm a ranger. I know all about the woods. This is great.
I mean, very sad for your hunter. Our condolences. But separately, it's very exciting.
That moment, I forget what room I'm in.
So I think we're all in agreement. We need to check the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I guess we're looking for signs of the beast or signs of the elves.
Or both.
Yeah.
Should we start where you guys found the body?
Yes. That's a good idea.
I only said it before you got to say it. You were totally going to say it first. I know. I can see it in your eyes.
Asphalt, I already said that.
Oh, I was just saying what Bjork said earlier. I was repeating it because it was so smart. Yeah.
Let's do what Asphalt said.
No, what Bjork said and also what Tiny Tusk was thinking really loud.
All right. So what are you trying to do in the woods?
Go to the scene of the murder.
Yes.
The scene of the murder.
There is a spell I would like to use there.
Then Mildred is able to take you. You can see the indentation slightly of or like some weeds had been pushed over. There's a little bit of blood.
Okay. I want to get kind of in the center of that area, so I can like find exactly where the body was, and touch down on the ground. And I want to take this opportunity to do a little spell called Clue. And for the period of time from last night up until, let's see, so it would be yesterday evening up until about an hour ago, or right, like that way it'll still pick up the body and all that.
Okay, what's the parameters of the spell?
Okay, so basically it will show me any footprints or fingerprints within the 45-foot radius of the point I touched, and I can pick any time period
within the last 10 days, and it will show as different colored footprints for different types of creatures.
Okay.
Or different unique creatures, not different types. I'm sorry.
Unique creatures. Okay.
Yeah, each one will have their own unique color.
Okay. So you can see there are 3 colors here. You can see the large prints of a beast. Enormous clawed, as well as the set of another set that seems to be near it. You see them kind of circling, and another one that comes and leaves. In addition to the beasts.
So the beast one, does it look like it leaves in the same direction it came in?
It seems that it like kind of no, it kind of runs off another direction.
Okay. Well, this at least confirms something. Everybody can see this, by the way.
I don't know if it works this way, but can we... I imagine we took the samples of the fur and the scale. Does it show up in Tiny Tusk's spell if they are from the same creature? Confirm?
Yeah, any creature that moves or touches objects in the area will leave colorful footprints and fingerprints, which might reveal invisible creatures in the area. I think it's only for if it was in this space and touched by the thing and still here. I don't know if it would include things that we're bringing back in.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it like then makes that colorful now.
Okay.
So while Tiny is working this spell, Bjork has drawn at least one of her short swords, and she's keeping an eye out to make sure that nothing attempts to attack us while this is going on.
Okay. As you do that, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Oh, 16.
You hold this tightly, and things of the legends come back to you. And remember, it is said that only silver could harm a creature like a werewolf.
Okay. Well, I relay that to the group to remind them that only silver can harm a werewolf.
Perhaps it's a good thing we recently got paid in silver.
Is that noteworthy? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Who paid us again?
Halak.
For the training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could take the silver we earned, try to smelt it, and turn it into daggers.
Or you could coat your weapon in silver.
That's much better. Yes, much better. I don't have any silver weapons.
I'm not sure any of us do.
Gosh, does this mean we should be prioritizing finding ore for the blacksmith that we can make silver? If there are werewolves around, maybe we need to know how to defend ourselves.
Yeah. Yep.
So the tracks that lead off, I guess, the opposite direction as the werewolf, do they head further into the forest or back toward?
I mean, it seems to be into the forest at this point.
Just so I understand, Matt. So, and I mean, we can also, I guess we didn't bring the body with us. You said that there were 3 tracks. There's a beast, and then there's 2 humanoid sets of footprints?
Yeah.
Okay. And it stands to reason that one would be the victim and one would be the person who found them?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So far, nothing contradicts
Gotcha.
anything. It confirms.
Yeah,
At
definitely.
least confirms Mildreth, right? And the ones that came in to find the body are different colors than the ones that killed the creature, killed the other one.
I mean, it's possible
at
this is
least-
a pack of werewolves or lycanthropes that are just kind of hiding, and that would explain all the weird sightings of elves.
Well, should we follow this other set of footprints?
Well, we only can follow it up to about a 45-foot radius, but we could head in that direction. See if we find any other clues like fur that rubbed off on trees, and maybe find our way that way.
Should I do that if you want?
Yeah, we'll do some tracking.
I'm gonna assume that I took like the fur and the scale, the bronze drake scale with me. Is it possible to focus on like the bronze drake scale that was in the wound and like use a spell like locate object to locate another one if it's out here?
Yeah.
Then I will do that as we're going out into the search in,
Alright.
in the woods here.
So Tiny Tusk is leading the tracking. Can do survival with advantage.
Okie doke.
Can only become an object when it's not on a person?
What, the scale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just checking.
Yeah. That's why, like, at first I was a little bit like, "Where are you going?" Oh, yeah, no, that'll work. But then, like,
Yeah.
you can't be like.
No, I figure that on a person it is part
Yeah,
of
no,
the
you're right.
person.
Yeah.
But when it's not on the person, it is an object.
We're
What do you
gonna
have,
find it in
Jackie?
the shower drain.
I add a +2. That's a 12 total.
12 total. Okay.
I rolled real bad.
Yeah, with advantage. Oof.
One was a nat 1,
Oh
so
boy, yeah. That always kills you. Like, oh no. Following the best you can you follow the blood, and you can see the impressions get less are not as deep, as if it's losing weight. And from there, you can see like a bronze, you find like another scale and some more fur. And there you can see the tracks go more towards humanoid. And then they begin to head off towards the village.
Definitely someone living among us. Possibly. It almost feels like maybe we're going to have to keep track of the moon and keep an eye on who's leaving the village. To prevent another one.
I don't sleep. I could try to stay in the area.
Yeah. As a note, there's a good chance you won't be here the next full moon, or maybe you only have one shot at that.
Yeah.
Because there was you do know the raiding season approaches. One more shot after full moon, if you wanted to go like the find one during the full moon route.
Wait a minute. There's another option. What when we look at this village, what's the closest buildings to us?
From there. So from the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get you that specifically. Well, the hunters' buildings are the closest.
Okay.
So now let me ask this. Is this just one day or the full moon cycle, which for sort of practical purposes is 3 days?
She just said it would go for 3.
So which phase are we in? Day 1, day 2, or day 3?
This was the first.
So there is a possibility that we could see something tonight.
Yeah. Depending what that would actually get you.
Maybe we need to see if there's any witnesses. People who saw someone at night coming back from the woods. If they passed the hunter's lodge, I don't know
the
if
hunters
anybody's...
were out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. No one's hunting at night that I know of. Lighthouse is out.
Well, clearly somebody was hunting at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's common to hunt at night.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, let's maybe try the hunters building and see if anybody there saw something.
Or we could potentially join the hunters tonight.
That's true.
Or both.
Let's just go. The hunters won't go out tonight. I cannot hide the death of their friend from them. They are already scared. I doubt they won't go in now. Especially with what we know, none of them have silver. If they were to meet this thing, they are defenseless.
If this person knows what they are, they would have a place that they probably hide their stuff, like their clothing or their items. It would also be someone who doesn't like dealing in silver. Maybe they have a hiding spot somewhere nearby.
If we do go out tonight, I say we head to the forge and see if we can melt down some silver and coat some of our weapons with it.
Yeah.
Looking to the blacksmith. I'll go. It'd take 100 gold for me to silver a weapon to get the right ingredients. Or I could do 10 pieces of arrow, bolts. I don't have to do what you're talking. I've done it. It's not the silver of a coin. There's an alchemical silver that's meant for this type of thing. I can melt down the coins. The coins aren't pure silver. You hardly have enough.
You deal with this silver a lot. Have you ever had a customer who seemed off-put by it?
Not that I can recall.
What about a customer who came in requesting this service. It sounds so hard to do. You must remember the few people who've been able to.
I do, but I mean, I remember different clans. No one that's here. I mean, with winter, no one had. I've not done it here in Regval.
Okay.
Does Clan Rugval have elves here?
Maybe Mildreth is one.
Right. Okay. What about okay. No, never mind. That's gonna cost we don't have that kind of money.
Can werewolves only be killed by silver, or just silver weapons? Like, does magic hurt werewolves?
Yeah, I think finding that you did, yes, like things like fire and such can hurt them, but weapons that don't have silver do nothing.
Luckily, fire is actually the only thing I can do.
You know, we could go out there and not necessarily engage, but just see what we can find.
Yeah, I think that's a good next step.
Because we can hide in the trees and see what we see. And should we find such a creature, we could potentially follow it.
I could also try to set up my spell again, just at the tree line, to see if we can. I mean, it would be a long time, but I can do it as a ritual, so we could technically track exactly where those footprints went. It would just take a good bit of time.
Well, we can do that first, if you want to.
Yeah,
Anybody have any other ideas?
I think we've got time before nightfall.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, maybe it's somewhere nearby, and otherwise we won't be able to locate them, but we can at least figure out some things.
Yeah. Roughly, the tree line is 6,000 feet.
That's true. The area we came out of, that we had kind of done the tracking through, would be where she's looking to do the initial one to see if she can pick up the.
I mean, you were deep into the woods. So I'm not sure what you mean.
For some reason, I thought we had tracked them out to the clearing.
You found a clearing in the woods. So you're talking about the tree line.
Never mind. I misunderstood. I thought we had tracked them there, but we did not.
Okay. Right, you didn't track them. They took you to it. Yeah.
Does the spell if we have suspicions about either the Benisons or the Grindelsons, could we go to their property lines and do the spell there to see if we can match the colors?
That's a good idea. That way we could see if their tracks are coming from the direction of the woods, so we could do it the opposite way to at least either rule them out or, see if this is actually a credible rumor.
Yeah. And I would say in this case, since you have like a lot of physical evidence, you could get the spell to do the same colors twice.
Cool. Well, was going to be. I'm like, can I use mold earth to excavate one of the footprints and bring it with us?
You could probably do that too. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I like that. I really like that you do that. Because it's like I want some circumstantial things to make the spell do that. Because it's a little power to the spell. But if we take out like this, dig out around the prints and I really like that.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I'm a stone druid for a reason. Brrr.
Very good. All right. So it's a plan to check the. Go to Grindleton's homestead.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of get that footprint.
Then, as you head there, we will end for tonight.
No.
And come back with that.
Good night, everyone.